Cool, brother.
Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Good evening, everyone.
What is the commonality here? What is the commonality here? Huh? What is it? Chat. People in the chat, villagers. What is the commonality here? I tell you, man. We're scaling up, and some sacrifices just gotta be made sometime, man. You know, what's good, family?
It's not a commonality because you're not doing the same thing. I don't know.
Hey, listen, man.
All right. So
I am the exec producer. I put it all together, and then the hosts them come on and do what they do. But what's happening here?
All right. Are you making fun of the fact that all three of us are driving?
Yes. 1,000,000% yes.
All right. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you and welcome to the Village Radio Talk Show for another week. Where we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us to realize our dreams at any age, at any point, starting from today. So I got to ask everybody, I'm coming from baseball. Where everybody else is coming from? Where you come from? Where you come from, Dr. Bright?
From Queens. Retirement party, end of year party. So yeah,
all right.
It's something.
Let
me tell you something. Queens is horrible. The traffic, 2 hours going, 2 hours coming back to Brooklyn is ridiculous.
You come from Antoine's?
I have to come out for a second, guys.
Yeah, so you're like literally on the other side of Queens.
Oh, thanks, Andre.
Right, you're on the other side of Queens. So I could only
Hey,
imagine.
John.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Yeah, where you coming from, John?
Coming from Long Island, Queens.
Okay, so everybody come. Well, I'm the closest, but I'm still in the game. The kids it's funny. Like it started lightning and thundering. You saw the kids running like this.
They only said that Riley only told the coach because Riley wanted to go home.
Right, yeah, that confession, good for the soul. All right. But
no one want to be hit by lightning. It happened. So I'm with the kids. Run.
Yeah, they ran
the storm.
Yeah, they ran like thieves, thieves in the night. So that was that. But heading home, I'm gonna be on the laptop in about 10 minutes, where the vision is better and the view is better than it is on the phone. But there are a lot of things going on in the world, man. What a lot of things. Johnny, what do you think? World War III? What do you think?
I want to talk about Juneteenth celebration instead of World War III.
Yeah, well, we got to do both, man, because it's possible. 'Cause what did Trump say? I may or I may not. Iran says you jump in, we're coming after you. Which of them think have the bigger cojones, man?
They need to work it out. They need to work this out. We do not want to
Right?
get involved with no war or no ground troops.
Uh,
So
you know what's funny to me? I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this statement, but Israel with Palestine and not Israel with Iran, right? They're supposed to be one of the most peaceful nations in the world, but they're causing a lot of violence in the.
Netanyahu does not want to relinquish power.
Yeah, and that's what it is, right? And I don't understand when the Jewish people are going to stand up and say, "Hey, enough is enough." You are provoking two of the angriest, most reckless countries in the world, and then we Americans are stuck in the middle, right? And to
Right,
me, it's just reckless with reckless abandonment, you know.
right.
Um, and you know, and people are scared, right? People in the military are scared. The American people are scared because Iran really has no fear, right? Really has no fear about what is happening, you know. But you're right. Let's segue for we'll come back to the war and Donald Trump in a little bit. But Juneteenth, you know, John, each year we talk about your role uh, in making Juneteenth a holiday, right?
That's
Your
correct, John Sampson. That's right.
Yeah, you know, your role in as the head of the New York State conference, you know, and your push to make Juneteenth a holiday.
This young,
What,
this
what was
woman,
the name?
young lady,
What was that name
a
that
young,
lady from Brownsville again?
it's one of our community leaders in Brownsville. Is the one who pushed me when Pataki was president to get a resolution,
President
to
or
get a proclamation. Then it became a resolution. And after it became a resolution, there was a push to make it a law.
right? And you're a part of that push to say, hey, Juneteenth, and now look at your work, right? Look at your work. You know, I wonder, did they give you any credit for it?
Huh?
Did they give you any credit for?
But then it's on the legislation, so that's enough credit.
Yeah, you know, so that is excellent. You know, good job, our co-host on the air, responsible for a national holiday. Well, not responsible for, but had a great large input in terms of this Juneteenth. Now, I went to a celebration today at the bridge on Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn, where, you know, I'm glad that I was able to bring my two young ones to it. I've decided I kind of want them to see what I do. And so, though they're bored off their wickers, I'm bringing them out more to see exactly what I do and get involved more with their community and see what is happening and the role that they can play. And today, took them out to the Juneteenth.
Right.
I was very impressed with one of them. They were highly engaged in conversation. I forgot to ask him what the conversation was about, but you know, talk about the part of when they broke the young people, them down into groups,
Right.
right? They mental health, economic empowerment, racial biases, and I forgot what one of the topic was, but they were, you know, they were in a way, you know, talking to individuals about these different topics, right? And they had four people on the panel who were talking about, you know, what it's like to survive and how to create your own well-being and, you know, create your own self-confidence.
Right.
And you know, it was very good. It was sponsored by the Bridge and Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. And oh, I got a funny story to tell you while I'm at it. So I'm at the Bridge, right? And so I met three of my students, my former students, right? The first
Right.
one walked up to me was from high school. She's like, "Hi, Mr. Daly. Da, da, da. How is everything going?" I was like, "It's going well." I recognized her. Her name is Leticia Superville because I recognized her because um, I've interacted with her frequently, but hadn't seen her in a couple of years. So she's talking to me. She said her friend was the moderator. I said, "Okay, that's very nice." Um, then another student walked up, former student walked up to me, Ariana from Mile 11. She's like, "Hi, Mr. Daly, how you doing?" Everything else. Then a third person walked up to me. Now, this interaction, John, was ridiculous. But I don't know if I've ever told you guys the story of how my first day of teaching, I sat on the stool and the stool gave way and I fell and I bust my behind. Nadine told
No.
me the story behind the stool. It was first period. Those damn students in first period class unscrewed the stool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So 30 years later, the stool that I thought just gave way, and I always wondered why the hell did the stool gave way, but now I know. The Philip Francois undid the screw so that the stool will give way. And I caught myself. I didn't fall completely, but it was still kind of, my first day, first class, first period. I bust my behind. So thank you, Nadine, for
Welcome, teacher.
welcome, teacher. She's like, but after that, she's like, he was so strict, he was so this. That was all I did was just laugh. I'm like, it is what it is, you know. And one of your former staff member was at Nazareth while I was there, um, uh, you know, a few years back. So, but either way, you know, so John? How was and John celebrated? John and Joanne celebrated their birthday this week. Joanne celebrated her big 50th birthday.
I am not 50. What is wrong with you? I am not 50. I have not hit 50, okay? That's your world. I'm
Well,
not
you
there
act like
yet.
you act like it. So,
Okay. Well, continue to think that I'm 50, but I'm
and
not,
John just
baby. See, that's what he gets for telling stories.
John,
Freeze, right?
John, I had a
Freeze.
great.
Yes, sir.
By the way,
Yeah.
I had a great. No, in all seriousness, um, we had a great time at your party last night. Were you surprised? Because it was supposed to be a surprise. Were you surprised?
I was surprised. Yes, I was.
Did
Man,
you
I
lose it
walk
or
in
did I
there,
lose
John
it?
didn't even look surprised at all. He was like, "Oh man, I'm glad you caught." He just looked so chill. He just looked so chill, and I was like, I'm expecting like, "Oh man," but I mean, it still was good though. Still was good. John was just chill, man.
That is funny.
Right, John. Right. John is
Man,
like you.
thanks y'all. Yeah, I mean, it was nice. It was a nice
Right.
surprise. Thanks for y'all coming through. I know Rudy came after you had this community board. Andre was there early.
I saw John there, boy. John was quite happy though. That's the one good thing. He was happy.
I can
He
agree with
was all
that.
cheeses. He was all cheeses. So
And
um,
Dr. Bryant
proud.
was partying up a storm. She kept
I'm glad.
everybody up.
To
I
to
don't
know
know what you're talking
to
about.
Hmm.
why you weren't
I have
happy.
no idea.
I'm talking about the
What
party.
happened?
We're talking about the
Oh,
party.
it was nice. It was very nice.
Yeah. I was just asking if John was surprised.
So, I don't know. I don't know.
Right. So
Not sure.
you know, I got there. I had a very eventful evening. So by the time I got there, it was kind of late, and he was already there. He was outside. So I don't know what the initial interaction was.
It's all good, man. Thank you for coming out. It was good just
But
mingling with the
but
people.
you know, I'm glad. And then today's my friend David's birthday.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
David.
All right, so happy birthday, good old David Sampras Michael. As his number is, as his information is in my phone. Right?
That's you, Roger?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
me.
muted.
Yeah, that's me. I'm going to my I'm looking now for my computer. All right, so that I can get on the air in a more efficient manner. So we could see me.
Hey, Doc, you're right. There's a lot of traffic out here.
Oh, please. That's an understatement.
John and Joanne, there's a big election, right? This election
Yeah.
coming up in New York City. For the first time ever, you have the sitting mayor. The sitting mayor is running as an independent. Has decided that the field is too big, and he could better focus on his election by running as an independent. And so we're looking at the primaries. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Roger. Oh,
Right. We're looking at the primaries to determine who we're going to look at, who we're going to endorse. Who I am going to endorse, and looking at all the other candidates in, and also basically to let everybody know that
To go out and vote.
to get people to go out and vote and understand
Yeah.
ranked choice voting a lot. And if I didn't say hello to all the villagers out there, villagers, please forgive me. Just trying to rush and trying to get a whole bunch of stuff done at the same time. So bless up to all my villagers.
and side note as well. I just put a link regarding personal finance. So we're trying to do some sort of personal finance kind of like teaching in the coming weeks. Just putting a link out there, see what the villagers want. So if you can click on that survey link and just check the boxes of the stuff that you would be interested in. If the option is not there, you can always type that in. And hopefully we get enough answers, enough choices between now and maybe like say Sunday, so that way we can see what we can do coming in the coming weeks. All right, so check that link, posted already. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Thank you, Andre, for that. Right. Just real quick, on I don't know all of the numbers, John, and I don't know if you know the numbers, how these numbers work, right? But in terms of ranked choice voting, there are a couple of things to look at when you talk about ranked choice. So ranked choice voting says, this is my number one choice. This is my number two choice. This is my number three choice, my number four choice, and my number five choice. Right? So you have to determine who's your number one and who's your number two and so forth. If you don't want somebody, right? If you don't want somebody to run, right, you better rank the others so that they get no votes on your level, right? So if you don't like somebody at all, then you need to rank the others. I don't know the formula, John. I don't know if you know the formula, right? I don't know
I
if you
guess
know
I don't know the point. I guess you rank it 1 through 9. Who you want?
yeah, 1 through 5, right? But who you want, but I don't know how the formula goes, like how many points is for 1, how many points is for 2, how many points for 3, etc., Y and Z. But you know, And this is only for the city, not for the state, or not
Yeah,
for the federal, right?
only for the city for now.
Right. And so, some people like it, and some people don't, you know. So, the concept is if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and not have an opportunity. Like a person who finishes second can actually come in first, right? A person who finishes second in the ballot can actually come in first, because if that person get all of the second place and a number of third place, second place, and first place, they actually can come. They actually can come ahead of somebody who got number first place, but then it's love hate, right? So they could get a number first place, and they could get a number of other places, like fourth and fifth. So they get those little points versus the one who's in second place
Right.
can move on ahead. The only person that I will ask people not to vote for in the mayoral race is Mandani. I think that I'm going to just state it like this. His goal of taxing the rich is a fool's goal, right? A fool's gold. Every candidate gets up and go, I'm going to fund what we're going to do by taxing the rich. By the way, just want a record. How many of them were able to do it? Right? Literally zero. Zero. So what's the point of putting out there that you're going to tax the rich and corporate America to pay for the things that you want to do, like a free bus? Who the hell do you think is going to give you a free bus? Plus, not to mention the city has no control over the buses. So who are you telling this to? Right? And then you're going to push New York City even further left than it actually is right now. Right? And you know what happened, John? What I've looked at it. The more left the city gets, is the more expensive the city gets.
So true.
Right? The
That's
further
true.
left, the more expensive it gets. Okay? And who pays for it? The middle class. So I will not ask any of our villagers to vote for Mandani. I know some of you like him, but the reality of the situation is that New York is only going to get worse. New York did not get better under Bill de Blasio. Right?
Everybody says free, free, free until you determine how you're going to pay for it.
Exactly. Right? And New York got tremendously. I think the move from Bloomberg to de Blasio was
Insane.
No, it wasn't the same. It was worse.
Insane.
Then,
that's what I'm saying.
Right. And Eric Adams was kind of like a Joe Biden. Right. And what I mean by that is that Eric Adams was forced to clean up a bunch of things that Bill de Blasio put into place that hurt the city. Right. Because he's brought the city far left. I'm in a meeting last night at a community board. People complain about these bike lanes.
Right.
I looked at my car, John. I don't know if you when you are coming into Brooklyn, right? When you're coming into Brooklyn,
right,
and you get to a certain area, Andre, same thing for you. Put it on your Waze and look at how many cameras are in a 1 to 2 mile radius. Today I counted. I counted from Kings Highway to, I think, Beverly Road. Right? And Kings Highway being the central point. Look right and look left. I counted something like 15 cameras in less than a mile. Less than a mile. I counted more than 50 cameras. And these cameras are in middle-class neighborhoods.
Amen.
Neighborhoods where people are forced to drive their cars.
Regressive tax, my brother.
There you go. Congestion pricing is absurd. So I'm going to tell my audience, we don't support. You got to think about, because a lot of my audience, you fall from low income to middle class, right? And somewhat maybe upper middle class, make it over 200,000. The reality is that 200,000 is worth less than 60, 70,000.
Right.
So people have to really think about who they're running for. I call you our village pessimist, but I agree with you. It was a joke. I laughed at him when he tried to run for president. He couldn't run New York. What makes him think he could run America? He was just too far left, in my opinion. So if I were to vote, I would tell people Andrew Cuomo is a good choice. I know John doesn't like it for different reasons.
I didn't say anything about don't like him. I just don't agree with his policies.
Right. I think Andrew Cuomo. I think I would say Michael Blake, right, is a good choice. Zelnor Myrie is a good choice. I think Zelnor Myrie for me is definitely number 2. So I would tell people to go out and vote for him. At least put him 2 on your list. I have no issues with putting Andrew Cuomo as first, but Mandani, I think everybody but Mandani would be out there. And a lot of these candidates also, John, will be running in the general election as well. Cuomo, Eric, Mandani. Mandani will be, I think, I like the working families, but I also think that some of their policies are too far left. Right? The middle class, they let people believe that they could really affect the upper class, and they have to do a better job. So, I think when it comes to November, I'm not sure, but I really think that I'm not sure who I'm giving that vote to yet. But I am leaning towards either Andrew or Eric. But I think John is going to try to convince me of Eric. So, but the reason why, John, by the way, the reason why I'm telling people about the primaries is because I don't want people to stay. If you're independent, there's no independent runoff. And I want people to get out and vote. And who you vote for in the primaries might not necessarily be the winning candidate, nor the candidate that you'll vote for in the fall. In the fall. So you need to get out and vote. And that's why I say do Andrew Cuomo, do Zelnor Myrie number 2, do Michael Blake number 3, right? I would go Brad Lander 4. Brad Lander 4.
What do you think about that issue? What do you think about what happened with Brad Lander?
I think he was an opportunist. Right. I think he was an opportunist, and to try to show that he does fight for the immigrants, which we know he does, but I think I think he was an opportunist, and at the right place at the right time.
I was talking to John about it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I don't know if I really have the opinion on this yet, but at the same time, I look for the full video. But I feel like
the driveway boy. Thanks.
Huh?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If I'm fighting for the people, I think that I need to make sure that I keep myself in a position where I will always be able to fight for them. And so I look at it, and I think live and run away, live to fight another day. If I'm like you get arrested and all, what if he didn't have, you know, the people who can let him out? Like, what if he didn't have the opportunity to be let out right away? Now you're not able to help the people in the way that you were helping them at first. So I just think, like, if I have power in that regard, I'm gonna keep myself in a position where I can continue to help and maybe even help more. So yeah, I just think, you know, I can agree with you in that sense, Roderick. You know, it's just like, keep yourself in a position that you will not lose those opportunities to help the people. That's how I look at it.
And I look at further, like, you know, a lot of times those arrests are staged, right? A lot of those arrests,
Yep.
I'm in the political circle, and I do know that a lot of those arrests are staged. They don't get fingerprinted or anything like that. They get taken to the cell, and then the lawyers meet them there, and then they're released right away without any issue.
And I think
any issue whatsoever.
I think people have to understand too that these things happen on multiple levels too. So, you know,
and so, John, what's your thoughts on it?
I think he got kicked out.
I hear. Oh, okay.
Well, Joanne is back though.
Oh, Dr. Bryant. She brought back. She got to her fancy apartment. I understand.
Yeah, Dr. Bryant, you're always looking fire, man. Looking more fire than all of us.
Don't be swelling her
all
head
of us come up.
Huh? Andre, I'm going to send you a couple of videos if you could put them up on screen. All right, when you get a chance. I thought I might have sent them, but this is related to downstate and what's happening at downstate.
Oh, I think you did.
So I just want to let you know a child did get struck by lightning in Central Park this evening.
Damn.
So those kids were right in running, because guess what? They would have gotten struck too. They were smart.
Listen, I didn't say they weren't smart.
Damn.
You called the game.
A little boy, actually.
15-year-old. He was
Is he okay?
15-year-old boy in Manhattan. It happened around 3:40.
What time?
3:40 p.m. it happened.
Oh, that's the earlier part of the day.
Yeah. He was conscious when he was rushed to Whale Corner Medical Center. He was standing under a tree when both he and the tree were struck. Stable condition. He had injuries to his neck. It happened while New York City was under a severe thunderstorm warning as powerful storms rolled through the area.
Wait, did you get any notification New York City was under a thunderstorm warning? I didn't receive any notification. Did you, Roger?
I didn't get any beeps. I know that. You know how that beep thing goes off with the alert?
Yeah. And then I get that. Yeah.
I didn't get
the
memo either. So I hope I hope everything's gonna be good with him.
Oh yeah, I hope so too. Because it's nothing like getting struck, and your senses and everything might not be 100% the same after. So that's
that is very true. You know, lightning is scary, girl. Lightning.
No one want to get struck by anything that's not meant to. The elements.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell people, but if unfortunately you ever got electrocuted, right? If you ever got electrocuted.
Who want to get electrocuted?
No, I'm saying if you ever got electrocuted, you understand, and lightning has even more powerful electrical output, than the socket or something like that.
Hey, Jalen.
So, but quick point, we can, right? We're talking about, right? I was watching, going back to Brad Lander, Andre, and Dr. Bryant, my mother was listening to a C-SPAN video of Marco Rubio on C-SPAN, right? He was getting interviewed, right, by one of the Senate, and they were saying about how selective they are in terms of who they let into the country. And he's a real politician, boy, because he also stuck to his gun, though. We have the right to select who we want in our country. And the guy kept asking him, so why do you keep leaving out these countries, right? Why do you keep doing that? You know, the United States let in 1 million new people every year in terms of people coming to the United States. So the guy go, yeah, that's fine, but where are these people coming from? Oh, the United States has a right to choose where they come from. Who's going to be of best interest to the United States?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know how much more racist you can get, because they're bummy white people, they're bummy black people, they're excellent white people, they're excellent black people.
That is not what they believe.
That's right. It's based upon individual.
Right? Well, for them, it's based upon skin color and classism.
Yeah. And a lot of, I watch a lot of these Korean movies, right? Started watching them. And it's all about status, right? It's all about status. Like, what's your status? You're lower class, upper class, middle class, right? And learn to stay in your lane, right? Learning to stay in your lane.
I missed the whole conversation. Andre, did you have the same conversation that you had in regards to
Brad Lander?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll kind of like just highlight that itself, how Roderick was saying, opportunist in a sense, live and run away, live to fight another day. So that was the point we're making. Roderick, how many pictures was it? 3 pictures?
Honestly, Andre, I don't remember.
All right, I only had 3 pictures because they were in the family.
One of them is supposed to be a video.
Oh.
I was trying to send it again. Let me see if I can get it.
Well, I got the pictures, but going back to Lander, and these things happen on multiple levels, not only just like local, but they happen even the highest levels too, really.
So he's like
be mindful.
The third politician, and remember, there's the judge as well, who is going to court right now for allowing ICE, the individual that ICE came for. Yeah, so they're trying to definitely prove a point in regards to if you do anything against ICE, or if you violate, or if you don't obey, or whatever, there's a big possibility you will be going to jail. So I don't know. And they were warned that the police can't stop ICE because it's federal.
The police can definitely. No, they can't.
No, because it's considered interference.
The thing that they won't assist, right? They won't assist ICE, but they can't physically stop them either. Right? That's how that works. Right? It's very unfortunate.
Yeah. It is because the thing is, what do you tell immigrants? The weak people, not the weak people, but people who are in a situation where they have to go back and forth to court or to do anything immigration wise, they're afraid. And they have every right to be afraid, because if they're arresting American citizens, you know, with no, hey, your interference, and then the first charge that they say that you're obstructing a federal officer, and then assault, they're quick to say that you assaulted them because you might say no, 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 or you might say, So that's the scary thing about it, because once they start adding charges, that's where the problem comes in.
And they're not afraid to add those charges.
They lie at any cost. They lie at any cost possible, and that's the scary part about it. So with him, I know that they mentioned that the federal prosecutor was checking into the arrest. So similar to the lady in Jersey, that they added more charges, and she's going back and forth. So, Andre, can you send Khari the link, please?
Yeah, he has it already. I sent it in the email.
Okay, send it in his phone, to his phone.
All right.
Yeah. So, that's that.
You voted yet, Joanne?
I was supposed to do that today. I will be doing that tomorrow. I'm going to vote tomorrow. Today was supposed to, but I had to go and get my nails done, and it was about me, and then I had to do some work, and then after that, it was time for me to get to Queens. So,
right. I got the pictures up. I could put them up, and then commercial, and then Khari.
Did you vote?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I will be doing that tomorrow. I will do it before the 24th. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right.
I want to put up the pictures?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
And then we go to commercial.
And I want to talk about it before Khari comes on.
Okay.
There's a picture. That's the first one.
So basically, we're looking at. Look, go back. All right. You see King and his father, the governor.
He's almost your height.
Yeah, he is. Look, I was leaning. It looks like even taller too, right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Can you believe it was just his birthday last week? He's just 13.
Happy belated birthday, my Gemini partner.
Yeah, whatever. Go away.
Stop hating.
Yeah, I am a hater.
Yeah.
So we went to downstate, right? They just got the $1.1 billion to remain open and refurbish and renovate downstate's house party. You can scroll through them.
Okay. Roger, just the FYI, our guests will not be able to stay on long because they have prior engagement. So,
so I'll show the picture here, 43-second video, and then Khari jumps on.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
It doesn't happen by itself. A lot of incredible people helped us get here today, and I want to thank Dr. Wayne Riley, our president, for believing in this institution, this place, to take care of people in their great time of need. I want to thank him for his leadership over and over and over. We are so blessed to have you in this role. I want to thank you also, Dr. King, Dr. John King, the Chancellor of SUNY. He was a driving force as well. Made sure this happened because he cares deeply about it. He's like a parent of a big.
All right.
Well, there are more videos, but we could come back to it after we speak to Khari. You know, Khari.
Bless up, big man.
I want to tell you something. Had you been on half an hour ago?
Half an hour ago? I thought it was 8 o'clock.
No, it's not that. That's not why I said it. Had you been on a half an hour ago, all of us were in our cars.
Look
at
that.
You had just joined in the car posse.
I ain't mad at that. As long as I could have been in the car, one of y'all, because this traffic's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I was coming from parade ground. It was ridiculous. By the way, who are you? I mean, I just called your name. Who are you? And what are you? Why you here? What's going on?
Well, I first want to just throw a shout out to the governor for giving downstate their money, but being in healthcare for a while, we got to pray that she changes the reimbursement rates so that we don't go through this every 10 years. So my name is Khari Edwards. I'm running for Brooklyn Borough President. I'm here on the show to remind everybody, if you haven't early voted, you have only this weekend and then Tuesday to elect me the next Brooklyn Borough President. So that's the joy. That's the joy of my conversation today.
All right. So,
I like how you said that. The new. We need some newness in our life, in Brooklyn, especially. Just so you know.
Wait. It sounds like you have it. You. Wait, Joanna, are you trying to tell the voters something? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm just saying, go out and vote. We have someone who is consistent, who is always coming on, supporting the young folks and medical and the community. So, you pick who you want. What makes sense? Someone who's fair or someone who's not fair?
Yo, you answering like a damn politician. Who you pick for bar president?
Who am I picking?
Who did you pick?
The same person that I voted for the last time, Khari.
Oh,
that's who I voted for.
I'm just
letting you know. I voted for him the first time, and I'm gonna vote for him again.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, ain't right. We voting for Khari Edwards.
Khari looks like that. It looks like even if I didn't want to vote for you, Khari, it sounds like the village radio show is endorsing Khari Edwards for Brooklyn Borough President.
That's right.
So
let me put that on the graphic. I'll get that on the graphic tomorrow for you.
So, Khari, John.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm not giving you in your car. Dr. Brian, what are you saying? What is the Village Radio Talk Show telling the people to do?
Go out and vote. Early voting has started since actually last week, Saturday, the 14th, and you have up until Sunday to vote. So, I'll be voting tomorrow. I was supposed to do it today.
Wait. The question I'm asking you is,
all right,
who are you saying that the Village Radio Talk Show?
Who is on now?
I don't know. I don't know. Who are you telling them to vote for?
Khari has been
I don't think Dr. Brian is not. We're not telling people who to vote for. We're telling people who go out there and vote. But if you look at the person, as we said, if you look at the person who is always in the community reaching out, I mean, you make up your mind, constituents of our illustrious borough of Brooklyn, you make up your mind. So we're not telling you how to vote, but Dr. Brian said she's voting for Mr. Edwards.
Get my flyers in the car.
And your flyer in the car. All right.
Yes.
So villagers, you heard it here. Get out and vote. And when you do get out and vote, do consider Khari. He's done the community work. We're not telling you. We're telling you very much so that he is one of her own who has supported the village, has supported.
Thank you, Empress. In other words, vote for who you see. Oh, there you go. All right, Empress said it best. That's right. That's my girl. Who do you see? Who's out?
Hey, Mr. Edwards, when are we going to see some commercials on TV?
The budget can't hold that, but we've had commercials on they call connected TV, so YouTube, obviously Facebook and some of the social media. I don't have that $1 million budget to hit that number, and if the Knicks were in the playoffs or the Knicks were in the finals, I'd have definitely put it on. But it's tough going with the way they charging folks. So I don't have a Zoran or Cuomo money for that.
Yeah, I understand.
How are your mailers?
So we've already had 2 mailers hit out. We have 1 more mailer that should be hitting this weekend. So there should at least be 3 different pieces of mail that have hit at least 200,000 homes across the borough already for us.
How many voters usually come out on the borough president?
Well, initially we were thinking 125,000 was the win number. But with the enormous amount of early voters that came out, we had to move that up to about 145. One of the things that I will say is that, as we've been knocking doors and talking to folks, the number one question is, well, who's the current borough president? So I'm really running against getting folks to know, one, that there's another race besides the mayoral race, and to go down the ballot. And so we've been doing a lot of great stuff in that respect. And that's a cross section. It's not just Black voters. It's a cross section of voters who are like, they don't know who the current borough president is, or not into the process. And so it's kind of, those are the easier ones to pick off.
Yeah, I have to say that I did find that a lot of people didn't know that the election, that the borough president was also, they only see mayoral, and that's it. They think it's just that. So there's a lot going on for this election season for people to know that local election is very important, because that determines national election. So, and it affects you personally, one-on-one. So going out to vote is a choice, but it's a right that a lot of people died for.
Not only that, but a lot of people who are of color were denied.
Right.
Well, and up to today, they're still denied the opportunity to vote. So now that in New York City is one of those places where you are, you have a couple of tough races going on. You have the bar president's race. You have
controller,
the controller's race.
Mm-hmm.
You have in District 41 with Darlene Mealy. That's also
council people.
A competitive race in Brooklyn. Vanessa Gibson has a race in the Bronx, for Bronx Borough President. So we have a few interests in the race, right? And
Manhattan as well. So
in Manhattan, for the Manhattan Borough President. So I'm saying to people, in some cases, ranked choice voting is important. In other cases, you just vote for one candidate, right? For the Brooklyn Borough President, you vote for one candidate, right?
So a lot of people still go down they're like, hey, I'm just gonna go down. I came across a lot of voters who mentioned that, yeah, I'm Democratic, I'm just gonna bubble all the way down. But that's not how it works. And that's the problem. Some people don't understand how it works. So please explain how this ranked choice, because people are still not familiar 100%, how it goes.
Yeah. So I'll tell all the viewers, I am not a fan of ranked choice voting, specifically as it pertains to communities of color, because what happens is, someone gave the analogy the other day. I go to the ice cream store, and my favorite ice cream is rum raisin, but they don't have it. Then I'll go to another choice, and then if they don't have my cookie dough, I'll go to another choice. And that's fine in terms of what you feel about food and other things, right? But when you are electing someone for 4 years, and it almost seemingly seems that you have to, if your first choice don't get it, you go down to second and third. To me, it waters down the process. I mean, I'm blessed that it's only me and the current borough president running, because in a lot of cases, it's how you now manipulate the system a little bit. Like say it's John and I will team up so that Joanne doesn't, get the votes. And what that does, I think it impacts the democratic process, specifically in Black communities, because if you have 3 or 4 Black people running and they don't know how this thing works, then one individual who may not be of the community will say, well, I'm going to run, and then I'll figure out a way to tell folks, well, I'm friends with John, I'm friends with Joanne, and then all of a sudden I get the first, second, third place. And I'm kind of simplifying it a little bit, but I do think that when we have these kind of races like that, it should be a situation where folks get the choice that they want. And if the choice that they want doesn't win, they don't go for second and third, because a lot of folks don't have second and third choices. And you're seeing a lot of that. One senior said to me, I went in there, I picked who I wanted to pick, and then the machine spit it back out because it told me I need to pick at least 3 people for mayor. She's like, I don't want 3 people for mayor. So I don't know necessarily if that may have just been a glitch in the machine, but you're now telling her that her 1 vote no longer counts. It has to be her 2, 3 votes that will count to one thing. And so that's really tough, I think, for the Black community. Yeah, we may need to change, but there has to be a lot of education in it, because if not, we're going to see a dilution of our leadership. I told Jumaane Williams this the other day that depending on what happens in the mayoral race and depending what happens in my race, from a city standpoint, Jumaane may be the only Black elected that represents a big body of individuals. And we've gone from having a Black mayor, Black controller, all of these things, to now possibly only having 1 person of color that's only going to be in office for 4 more years. And so, the reason why it's important to vote is now because we're at a crucial time of representation. And, I just explained that to somebody. Actually, I just left an event explaining that to folks, that it's like, Juneteenth is about communication and how it took 2 days for us to get our information that we were free, but we've lost sight that we are no longer communicating with one another in a way that is beneficial to our community. So it's a tough call.
I feel I feel the same way. Like I literally said that earlier, that just choose your candidate, right, and keep it moving. But since they did put it in, Khari, I also made a statement, which I'm actually going to stand by it, which is that I don't like too much leftist politics. I think that with leftist policies, too far left policies, oftentimes makes the middle class individuals pay the price, right? Because the rich people really don't pay the price for anything. You're not, and I said it earlier, everybody gets up and say, oh, I'm going to do corporate tax, or I'm going to tax the rich. And I've been hearing this for the last 25 years that I've been involved in politics. So far, no one has been successful to any great degree with that to accomplish it, right? But I do know that in the last 25 years, the middle class has suffered the most. In my area that I represent is a 2-fare zone, but I have over 100 cameras in that 2-fare zone. In Manhattan, where people are a block and a half away from a train station or a bus, there are no cameras, right? There are no cameras in those areas because they're really not. It's making a statement. So, in my vote for Khari Edwards, I'm really actually hoping that, that there's a real fight for the middle class, right? A real fight for a real affordable housing, especially for people who are starting out, right? And how do you supplement that through the city, right? And through the state, through the lobbying. I know that, as a borough president, you don't make policies, but you can lobby for policies. And I don't know if you want to explain that to the audience so they understand a little bit better of the role of the borough president and why the borough president's role, when that has been created for a number of years now, why is that role so important?
Yeah, so the office of the borough president was created in the early 1970s as an advocating point for each borough to City Hall. And the borough president technically is the mayor of the borough. And what they do, they're supposed to advocate not only the budget needs, but also the structural needs and any other things that City Hall has to make a determination on. The borough president obviously works in conjunction with the city council members, and the city council members, a borough president could introduce legislation in partnership with the council members. So say it's council member Rita Joseph, and I wanted to do a bill about education from a borough president standpoint, I would go to her and say, could we co-author this bill? And well, they call it an intro, and put that intro bill in. The borough president also has domain over our community boards. They appoint half of the members of the community boards. The other half are the city council members, but they are technically looked at as the boss of the community boards, where the offices and all those things are funded through the city through their offices. Also, the borough president looks at the ULURP process, the Universal Land Review process, to look at projects that are coming into certain communities and to either support giving the green light or denial based off of, again, how it's supposed to affect the community. Also, that they appoint other people to boards like the Panel for Educational Policies and the CDC. But one of the more significant roles is they have $45 million. Well, at least the Brooklyn Borough President has $45 million in what they call capital money. And that capital money is supposed to support infrastructure, whether it's schools, whether it's hospitals, whether it's churches, parks, whatever you think that is more of a tangible capital need, the borough president has the ability and the funding to do that. Over the years, the funding has been cut a little bit, but it's still, $180 million to spread across 18 community boards to be able to really supply and support folks. So one of the initiatives that, I'm going to do is I came from safety net hospitals. I'm going to get each one of these safety net hospitals, the downstates, the Kings County, the Brookdales, $500,000 to do, improvements, and whether that improvements are lights, whether that improvements are new x-ray machines, because again, as our city gets older, as these hospitals gets older, that's the infusion of support they need. So to me, the borough president is a very important position. A lot of people think it's just going around and cutting ribbons and giving citations, but it's really a significant part of creating the infrastructure. I told an assembly member this a few years ago that if you give me $20 million, I'm going to change the lives of folks in Brownsville by investing in them. And so these are the things that I'm running on, because when you look at the 2.3 million people that Central and South Brooklyn make up, they have been left behind by this current administration. They have been ignored, except for some what I feel performative things. And just to go back to a point that you guys were saying, I feel really strongly about the systemic way that they are creating places for people of color to suffer. So, Rudy, you were just talking about the cameras, right? The cameras are a tax on Black communities, right? The tax liens are a tax on Black communities. The property taxes are a tax on Black communities. And while our income doesn't go up, I was explaining to somebody the other day that a 3% living cost of living increase that most companies give you, Con Ed is already going up 9%. So you're already 3 years behind catching up to Con Ed in being able to live the life you're supposed to live. And no one's really addressing that. And so these are the things that the advocacy of the Office of Borough President, I feel, is supposed to be there. And I want to do the fun stuff. I want to bring back Wingate and Seaside concerts, and I want to do things to bring people joy. But I also want to represent everyone, because look, the Asian brothers and sisters, they don't got it good either. People think they got it good. I got endorsed by the Asian Wave Alliance because they're suffering through unaffordability. UFT endorsed me because we're speaking about visiting schools and doing stuff for kids. And so, yeah, this is mine, and we're gonna take this and make this work. But I really want the listeners to understand that you guys play a part in that. I don't know everything, so if something's going on Community Board 18 or 17, or if you got an issue with a landlord that I showed up to on first day of voting for some folks, that's what government is supposed to do for folks. And we're supposed to have constituent services as part of our mantra. And so I'm really excited to take this on. I've already crowned myself borough president. I just got to wait till Tuesday to make it a reality, but I'm already ready to start the job. I've been doing the job, honestly.
We're both muted. Okay, so we both were muted. So Dr. Cleopatra Brown wrote, if elected, please do not forget about the veterans who served this country.
Cleopatra Sampson, how you doing, Cleo? Hope everything's well. Cleopatra is a very good advocate, especially over there in Brownsville and East New York. Big time advocate.
So the veterans are requesting your support if elected.
Yep, they got it. They don't even have to ask a question. So I'll tell you in my cannabis job, because I know that makes Rudy blush. We've done a lot
Not
of
me. It's
work.
the person at the top left that blushes. Don't.
Oh, my fault, my fault. Um,
I roll
two
my
initiatives that were really important was our feeding programs for veterans and our housing support for veterans, and I did that without even a big budget from a standpoint of just being part of a company. So veterans are always first and foremost on my mind, because you're the ones who have been left behind more than anybody else. And there have been so many veterans that have been strung out on opioids and other things because of the inability to get mental health services, to
You're muted.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
That's
Yep, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. So no, I was talking about the veterans things that we do. Even before, like what I was doing, the cannabis work was about pain medication, pain management for them, mental health services, because a lot of veterans are going through things that we will never understand. And so even with a small budget, we were able to do so much for them, get them acclimated to housing, get them even to have their records expunged, because a lot of them ended up committing small crimes. And so, yes, veterans, to answer your question, Ms. Cleopatra, veterans are first and foremost in my conversation.
Another question by Cleopatra. I'm
no,
sorry,
Empress,
CJ Empress.
yeah,
Empress said, so should we look forward to you bringing an office of balance in the growth of all of Brooklyn?
Yes. And so I'll even make one, I'll explain to you the process in which I'm looking at it. 18 community board offices throughout Brooklyn. I'm expecting me and my team to have constituent service hours in your community. And so that balance means that you don't have to travel, if you're coming from Coney Island to Borough Hall, to have a meeting to tell me what's going on in your community. And so not only are we going to make sure that we're at the community board meetings, Rudy, I can't promise that I'll be at everyone, but trust me, you will see me at least twice a year. But the reality of it is we're going to do constituent office hours there, so that people feel that when they come home or they got to come down the block, that someone's there from our office to pay attention to them.
I think there's another comment here. Let me just,
Says, hi, John. Thank you for the shout out. And then Dr. Cleopatra Brown said, thank you. Looking forward to working with you.
Yeah.
So Khari, I let's go back a couple of questions, right? And a couple of comments that you made, and I love the fact that you have some great plans for our great city of Brooklyn and your vision of what it looks like. When the primaries happen in June 24th. By the way, where's the watch party?
I'm probably secured as soon as I get off this call. That's why I went mute, because somebody was calling me from. Been working on that location since last night.
Make sure that we get the text on the chat, right?
Yes, indeed.
All right. So you get elected November officially. January 1st, you take office. Your transition team is happening. What are the first three roles outside of making me deputy borough president?
I like how you actually put that in. That was cute. Cute.
What are the other three roles you're looking to fill?
So the first role outside of you, well, it's the second role, since you're already deputy borough president. But the second important role is the constituent service director that I want to hire, because for me, again, it's really about, I want to run this, and John, you'll be familiar with this. I want to run this the way that Spitzer ran it with regional reps. Right. And so I need someone who will then say, we're going to hire 18 individuals plus individuals who are culturally connected to certain communities. And so we're somewhere probably about 25 individuals who will then be assigned to a community board, which will be assigned to an area. And so that means that we'll get stuff in real time. We'll get stuff where they'll call you as the chair. They'll sit with the community-based organizations in the community, find out what's going on in real time so that we can make sure that we have what I feel is going to be a state-of-the-art response system for issues that are going on in the community. And then, so for me, that's the number one person that I want to make sure that I hire. The other one is a general counsel, because I want the general counsel that I hire to know that I want to have an immigration office or branch within that office. Something I learned from Nick Perry. Nick Perry was one of the only folks that I knew that actually had immigration hours. He was wearing Port Dalton out, but the reality of it is it did so much because it's such a diverse community. So those are the two. And then honestly, too, I want to create, I want to hire someone who I can trust to be, again, the liaison to the community boards in a way that's kind of helpful and responsive. Because I think that, since Marty's gone, and I love Eric to death, but even he didn't have that directed to the community boards, because you guys are the heart and soul of the community. And I want to create more technical assistance support for the community board. So if you do have a new member who wants to get on the transportation committee, that they're going to meet with folks from the DOT ahead of time, so that when they're making, observations or they're making plans, they know that this is what transportation means for the city of New York. So those are the three top ones that I have. Well, four, because, but you already hired apparently. So I didn't even get there. So.
I interview nothing, right?
Right.
Listen, I don't want no damn interview. He already knows my body of work. What the hell I need to interview for? Right? Why are you pushing an interview for? I already said I want to be deputy borough president. What the hell else? You see what I'm saying? Khari, I hate her right. Right. Damn it. Maybe we should give her some weed.
Listen, as soon as you said you wanted to be deputy borough president, we had two crying faces on the chat. So what does that mean?
Wait, whose faces? I didn't see no crying faces.
Yes, check it out. Sad faces. Reaction from Dr. Cleo and Empress. As soon as you open up your mouth to say that.
I love me some Dr. Cleo and Empress Lane, but by the way, Empress, how's your daughter? By the way, how's your daughter? How's she doing?
So I don't know. I don't know what that means, Khari. I don't understand.
Well, listen. If it's all right though, this is the Gemini season. Happy belated to Dr. Bryant. Happy belated to John. But today's my son Miles' 17th birthday, June 19th.
Yeah.
So I gotta go run and catch him before he thinks I've disowned him. But I could be back the Thursday after the victory if that's what y'all need.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan.
That would be great, right? That would be great. I'm looking forward to working with you. As the new deputy borough president, just like you're claiming victory, I'm claiming the position.
Right.
Somebody says she is now commanding Captain Lane in the U.S. Army Military Intelligence. So you asked about her daughter? There you go. So
she's the new commanding. Look, Khari, look at my students, yo. Look at that.
Yeah, that's big.
That's dope, yo. Commanding Captain Lane. Tell her don't be too bashful to reach out. So say hi. Send me a message. Let me know what's going on. I'm very proud of that.
We know it's your little man's birthday. Wishing him a wonderful, wonderful birthday and many, many more. And again, going out to vote is from now until when? Early voting.
So So now until Sunday, then there's a break for Monday, and then Tuesday is the last day to vote. Polls close at 9 p.m. So to the best of your ability, please tell your friend, tell your ex-friend, tell your ex-boyfriend's friend, tell your friends of your ex, whomever you got, your cousin that you haven't spoken to in years, tell them to come out and vote. I'm endorsing myself, so that I know the village can't, but I'll say vote for me. But also, please do come out and vote, because
Wait, why you say
I
the
will.
village can't?
No, I'm just having fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. But what's really important is that the early voting numbers from other communities have been astronomically high. And so the concern is that we are not going to come out and that the vote will be suppressed. Again, one, because of the heat, two, because of the rain. But the reality of it is if you want things to change for yourself, especially with all the city people, of 4 years. This is not a 2-year congressional or city or assembly or senate. This is 4 years. And so you have to come out and vote at this particular juncture.
What are the hours? Because I know people might be wondering, what are the hours for the early voting? Is it different days?
Yeah, it's different. It's different time. Yeah, I think you have to go on the Board of Elections website to get the poll sites.
Early voting is 9. Starts at 9. Early voting starts at 9 in the morning, and then it finishes at approximately 5 o'clock. So you gotta get in and get out.
Right? I thought Tuesday was to 8. That's what I had noticed.
Yeah, there was some late days.
That's the primary days to.
No. Tuesday was the 8th. Yeah, they're different hours.
Yeah. So I mean, and by the way, you're just for people who are looking at voting, it might not be where
you usually go and vote.
You usually go to vote. So, and one early voting site is good for a whole bunch of voting sites within that area. Yep. So get out and vote.
So thank you for coming on again and reminding folks to go out and vote. And you've seen him once, you've seen him twice, and next week, Thursday, we'll see him again.
Yep. Right.
So go out and vote.
Yes. Ladies, I will say this, Khari. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very important that you support. I will say this. It's very important that you support those who support you. And, I leave it there.
Wait. Please put Daley in office. He helps to raise winners. Okay?
that was an endorsement.
Okay. Wait. Another person says, Juan Santiago, vote for Khari. I will be doing so. Okay.
Oh, Juan. Hey, Juan. What's going on?
All right. So you got people on listening, which is nice.
That's it, brother. Do your thing, man. Do your thing, man.
Right. Definitely do your thing, and good luck, Khari.
All right.
It's a great opportunity for you to do what you need to do. And all we have to do is hold you to your word, right? Hold you to your word. I love why you want to get the community involved. My motto, always moving the community forward. If you don't put your community together, make them work together, we're going to lose out, because that's how you gain. And so you have that intention. So I hope that, that intention becomes a success. So, and I'm looking forward to my first big job since 2020. All right.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Brooklyn Borough Presidency.
Bye-bye.
All right.
And happy birthday again to your son.
Yes.
The 41st Councilmatic District. I am torn. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think 3 candidates in the 41st. First of all, in the 42nd, hands down, Chris Banks for re-election.
He's up. It seemed like just the other day he ran and is up again. So hold on. Let me do
2023.
this.
He ran in 2023.
Let me do this quickly. On for those who don't know, so when the primary is taking place, you're going out to vote for district leaders,
No, not district.
Not for that one?
Civil court judges.
Okay, so hold on. I'm looking at the judicials. They have that.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going down the list on what people are going out to. Citywide, the mayor, the public advocate, the city controller. You have the district attorney, the borough president, member of city council, depending on where you are.
No,
And
all
then-
of them have it. All of them have it. It's just all 51 city council seats are up. It's just
right,
that,
but depending on where you're located will determine who you're voting for, correct?
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So it depends on whether or not they have a primary.
Mm-hmm.
So a city council person might not have a primary, but they might have a general election in the fall, depending on which side of the aisle you're on. So the primary is just for within your own party. So like you were saying, somebody says, I'm just going to vote Democrat. Well, if you go into the primaries, you're only voting for Democrats. So you're going to have to choose one.
Right.
And things like that. So, but you're right with all the other things that you are mentioning.
The delegate for judicial convention, the assembly line. What else?
You said judges.
Yep,
judges
judicial.
All right. And in the fall, you're going to vote for charter mandates if there are any city charter changes.
Then the alternate delegates. Then you have the county committees. Also, that you're voting for as well. In addition to, I'm just going down the line right now. Yeah, that's basically the same thing because each borough have their own. And then that's it. So there's a lot going on. 11 people are running to be the mayor.
Yeah.
3 for public advocate. 4 for city controller. And then depending, like you said, where you are will determine what civil court judge, the borough president, and then members of city council.
Right. So, and some of these seats, by the way, like for example, Brad Lander, he was only controller for one term, and then he's given it up to run for mayor. We have Cuomo, who was just out of office in 2022. Who is now running for another office as mayor for the city of New York. He's out of Queens. And so forth and so forth. So
the 41st district has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 individuals running for that.
All the names for me?
It is Jamel Thompson. Hold on, let me see if I can make this bigger. Lorman Lynch, which we have both on.
We had Jamel Henderson on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jamel Henderson, Eli Brown, we had him on.
Yes, we
Clifton
did.
Hinton, Darlene Mealy, Bianca Cunningham, and Dante
Antoine.
Antoine. We didn't have him on, did we?
No.
Okay. Yep. So you have 8 individuals running.
So, I mean, for me, I think Jamel Lawman can definitely go 1 or 2. Dante 3. Eli 4.
Okay, but that's your own personal voting
No.
And then for the
Wait,
judicial,
hold on.
Mhm.
I understand, but I'm saying that, for individuals out there who are listening to the village,
Okay.
that we need to support these candidates. And again, I will publicly say that I'm not proud of, as a person who represents part of that district, I'm not very proud of what the incumbent is doing. And a lot of people on the ground are very disgruntled about her work. And I think Khari spoke about it, like one side of her district gets her attention and the whole district doesn't. She represents Brownsville, parts of East New York, Ocean Hill, Bed-Stuy, parts of Crown Heights. And the investment is just not there. So I would think that Lawman, Jamel Henderson, Dante Antwine, Dante, who's and Eli Brown, those individuals have been doing a lot of legwork, just like Chris Banks was doing. He was doing the legwork to get things done. And people really need to start not just going to the polls and vote for a name, but vote for individuals
that you see.
That you now that you see their body of work and they want to expand that body of work. That's why I said those 4 individuals, because I work directly with individuals within those community.
Crystal Hudson is up as well for the 35th.
Yeah, she's getting a lot of slack. I don't know her well enough. I know she's the incumbent. They say that she gets a lot of corporate money. But again, I don't like the people on the left. I don't like too much people on the left. I don't like people. I think that the New York City has to have a balance between the landlord and the tenant's rights. I think the tenants should and must have rights, but it's like in New York City, they don't want landlords to have a right. If you earned enough money or your family earned enough money to own a property, you should be able to keep it.
Yeah.
And the left is one of the reasons why homes are becoming unaffordable. The left, the far left, is causing homes and living in New York City to become dangerously high, because now you're having high taxes, high taxation on individuals that otherwise couldn't afford it. So I'm not impressed with that.
Okay.
I like Dion Michael Ashman. I'm not sure who that person is.
What is that, 35th?
35th. I think that's Crystal Hudson's district.
Okay.
Right. And
it is. It is.
And so some people want her out.
Want
her because they feel like she is sold out. I'm not telling you. I don't know the 35th that well. It's your vote. Can we run some of the stuff? We have a couple of minutes on SUNY downstate, and so the announcement on what has happened. We have the clergy. We have the individuals.
And you know what? I have to bring this up. June 14th, when it is June 14th, when the Minnesota lawmaker was assassinated. That's something that, not to take, lightly. The political climate that we're in, it's okay for people to disagree, but it's not okay for people to kill people.
To assassinate.
To assassinate because they don't like who's in office or whatever. That is not okay.
Yeah, no, it's not. And I don't look at it as a political opportunity for anyone, right? It is disgusting.
Yeah. Our whole family got killed.
We on the Village Radio Talk Show denounce any form of political violence against anyone. You should be able to share your opinion, right? You should be able to share your opinion without coming to blows. We don't preach violence at all. Andre?
I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, except to say, when we fight, we win. want you to look at the people on this stage, look at the people next to you in this auditorium who fought every day to get this right. We are grateful to you. We are grateful to the community. And finally, we got it done. Thank you very much.
We've got Zeno Maru, who's running for mayor as well. And the senator for
It's now my honor to introduce Assemblymember Brian Cunningham. Is Brooklyn in the house? It's downstate in the house. Our fighting people in the house. Let me just say, Monique and I just drove 160 miles from Albany to be here today, to stand on this stage, to say thank you, Governor Hochul, $1 billion. Thank you. Senator Murray, I encourage you to look to your left and to your right. So please look to your left and look to your right. Look ahead and look behind. This is what community looks like, and this is what it looks like we fight together. This is what community looks like. So all the doctors, all the nurses, the chancellor, and everyone here, thank you so much. Thank you for not investing in a budget line. Thank you for not investing in a dollar sign, but thank you for investing in our community. Thank you so much. Now, we have been blessed, as you've heard from the governor, the chancellor, and the senator, by the support of the faith leaders of Brooklyn. And so I will call upon now Bishop Orlando Finlater, of New York Christian Fellowship, on behalf of the clergy.
So one thing I have to say, I am so happy that.
Is that downstate?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's mostly.
So what happened with downstate? What y'all got? Some money?
Yeah, a little bit over $1 billion, yes, to renovate, fix up. And so I was just showing some clipping from the press conference.
So the question is, how are you going to sustain this? How are you going to sustain it? You're going to invest $1 billion, and how are you going to sustain it?
Well, the purpose of the $1 billion is to renovate, fix, upgrade a lot of aspects of it, not really to increase salary or those kind of things.
You mean capital work?
Yes, a lot of capital work, yes.
So what about the reimbursements rates and the whole point is you can invest all that money in, but you need reoccurring revenue to make sure that this hospital stays open.
Well, I don't know that I haven't read the whole entire proposal to see if they've come up with ways and means to do that. But at this present moment, I'm glad to have been part of that thing. And I also want to publicly thank Claire Patterson-Mona, who was the person that myself and the other two board chairs helped to appoint to the SUNY downstate cab that was dealing with it and the charge to provide dignity to a lot of the new inpatients and also to provide some serious dignity to an upgrade to the outpatient services. They plan to build a new updated outpatient wing. They plan to increase the amount of private rooms that they have at the hospital, which now will make downstate more attractive. One of the issues that downstate will never attract the more affluent people within our society, but it definitely would attract more of our middle class community and individuals to want to stay and not travel outside of central Brooklyn. That was part of the goal.
Well,
Which I think that we accomplished that.
Well, the good thing is it's not shutting down.
Yes.
Amen.
Because last year that was the big push to shut it down. And I know people rally behind in keeping our local hospitals open. And it's so important because once you close one, you're going to oversaturate the other and you're not going to get the best quality. So thank you, New Yorkers. Thank you, the people on the ground, boots on the ground, like you say, your advocates and our community for being vocal and stating exactly what you need. in your community.
Amen, amen, and amen.
Yes, and yeah, I just add, I'm glad that I was a part of that, and it was right in our district, John. It was right in that's the end of Community Board 17, my district.
Job well done.
And so I'm proud that, you know, when they came knocking, I came answering. So
amen.
You know.
All right, villagers.
It
Yes,
was real.
It is that time. It is that time.
It was real. It's a pleasure. See y'all next Thursday.
Right, and
go out and vote. Go out and vote.
And happy.
Yeah, we'll discuss post-election on next Thursday.
Yeah. Happy belated Father's Day to all of the fathers. If you were here last week, so happy belated Father's Day. Happy birthday again to Sampras, to Joanne, to John. Happy birthday. Hopefully you guys had a real enjoyable birthday, and here's to wishing you many more. Right?
Thank you, babe.
Thank you.
Again,
God bless.
Make sure that you hit the subscribe button, like, and share the Village Radio Talk Show. Make sure you hit the like button. The like button is also important. So not just the share button, but also the like button. And make sure you take the survey. The part of that response, it's right there. You could go on our webpage, the Village Radio Talk Show on YouTube, fill it out, and God bless each and every one of you. Have a great night and enjoy your weekend. God bless.